fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender.
I'm stopping y'all quick like a traffic jam. Hot dropping on your base like a man Japan. And none of y'all players even stand a chance. Cause I'ma get you no matter what class I am. I'm stopping y'all quick like a traffic jam. Hot dropping on your base like a man Japan. And none of y'all players even stand a chance. Cause I'ma get you no matter what class I am. If I'm rolling in the city and I know that you ain't with me, I'ma make sure all of y'all gone like the hair that was on hippie. Even if you kill my whole squad any time of day, I'll show you how to raise the dead with revive grenades. Is what I'm trying to say. Y'all won't prosper any kind of way, so back off. Y'all can't even beat me at a game of smack talk. Watch me stay flyer than y'all like assault. I blast off and fly right past y'all. Matter of fact, that dumbs can't beat my heavy, especially when me and my crew run deep like Chevy. If y'all always watch us take over, y'all will beat the levy. We surrounding y'all like a fork when you eat spaghetti. Y'all need to practice and practice to try to push us back in. My classes and tactics will master you has-been. See, the point of the song was the point of how wrong y'all would be for biting back, cause there's no point on the long.
Light assault automatic, y'all players gonna get it. Infiltrator or max, y'all better watch your backs. Heavy's era armor, I'm getting ready to harm ya. And no matter what y'all do, just know that I'm better than you.
I'm stopping y'all quick like a traffic jam. I'm dropping on your base like a man Japan. And none of y'all players even stand a chance. Cause I'ma get you no matter what class I am. I'm stopping y'all quick like a traffic jam. Hot dropping on your base like a man Japan. And none of y'all players even stand a chance. Cause I'ma get you no matter what class I am.
Never try to pass me.
Your face is where I'm drastically, tragically blasting me.
Your death will be so nasty.
I'll attack you so much that you'll be passively mad at me.
Beat you from here to there.
I'll take you down anytime, any place, anywhere.
Whether it's land or air, your skills do not compare. Light assault automatic.
If you ain't quick on the trigger, then you know you're gonna get it.
Infiltrator or max.
With stealth or mass attacks, y'all just better watch your backs.
Heavy's era armor.
Watch us find a vehicle to face you and harm ya.
No matter what y'all do, just know I'm better than you.
I'm stopping y'all quick like a traffic jam. Hot dropping on your base like a man Japan. And none of y'all players even stand a chance. Cause I'ma get you no matter what class I am. I'm stopping y'all quick like a traffic jam. Hot dropping on your base like a man Japan. And none of y'all players even stand a chance. Cause I'ma get you no matter what class I am. I'm stopping y'all quick like a traffic jam. Hot dropping on your base like a man Japan. And none of y'all players even stand a chance. Cause I'ma get you no matter what class I am. I'm stopping y'all quick like a traffic jam. Hot dropping on your base like a man Japan. And none of y'all players even stand a chance.
All right.
It just deleted my link. I don't have moderator.
No, I see it there.
Yeah, it works. All right. So we're now live, and they can hear us and everything. So welcome, guys. We're doing a new podcast for shits and gigs, I guess. We'll be talking about a lot of stuff Planetside related. Pretty much going to lead off with like who the hell we are and what we're doing. So all three of us are in 69 AR, love us or hate us, getting a little notorious on Emerald these days. We do the cancerous armor columns that people hate so much, but really, I've been talking about myself a little bit. I'm FatCakes, by the way. I started playing PlanetSide around beta. Been playing for a long time, mostly VS, but back about a year ago, I switched over to TR because our old outfit kind of fell out. All three of us used to be in Azure Twilight back in the day. Me and Lord Satan were officers. Tman was also involved. He came a little later on, but he's still there nonetheless. And essentially, I started up this outfit a year ago. I just wanted to do something that no one else was doing, and for some damn reason, started these huge armor columns, and the rest is history, more or less. But yeah, we're up to about, I think, 1,160 members at this point. Most of you listening are probably, hell, you're probably in the outfit. But anyway, so yeah, I started it like in, I guess, April of last year, because I had some buddies of mine that wanted to play PlanetSide, and I'm like, well, if we're going to play, I might as well start up something to keep us organized, and played for a few months. It was pretty much only about 2 months. We went really hard, and then when my buddies stopped playing, I kind of quit playing too. I didn't really get the outfit up more than like 300 members at the time. But those same buddies got back with me earlier this year, I guess about the end of May and early June of this year, and they're like, "Hey man, I want to play Planetside," and I was like, "Sure, let's get the outfit back together," and we did. Except this time I kept it going. We're still going real strong after a few months, and a whole lot more members this time around. This stream obviously is where I stream the gameplay when I'm leading or just fucking off or whatever. But yeah, now we're going hard, streaming a lot, having fun, and I guess I'll let one of you go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. I am Lord Satan. I was Lord Satan. Nobody knows how to say it, man. They're Lord S8 and
Yeah, for the 4th grade education then.
yeah. But yeah, I'm Lord Satan. I started playing in beta with actually FatCakes got me to start playing. And I resisted for a long time and finally joined in beta and with Azure Twilight, and me and him moved up through the ranks. We're officers, and then Tman joined, and all three of us were like, in fact, all three of us started doing a infiltrator thing together, where we were doing like a specialty group in Azure Twilight that was based off the infiltrator, and doing a lot of recon and stuff like that, a lot of tactical stuff. So we're all fairly tactical oriented. I quit playing about the time FatCakes quit playing, and I think Tman as well.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then I went off and was playing a bunch of other stuff, Arma 3, Exile for a long time. And then FatCakes started doing this armor thing and called me back. It was actually very bizarre. Me and FatCakes, he was doing his armor thing, and we were chatting on TeamSpeak, and we were talking about Buzzcut Psycho back in the day, and I did a search on YouTube for one of his videos and found a video where he was talking about coming back to Planetside. And it was, when I found it, it was 2 weeks old, and he was coming back in like 2 days. And me and FatCakes were like, let's join the Enclave. So we joined the Enclave just to see, because, man, we fought against that guy and his outfit in Azure Twilight like numerous times, and he was like our foe. So we were like, let's join, see what it's like. And honestly, the Enclave and the way he runs it was no different than the way Noble or Lupe or Antithesis ran their big squads in Azure Twilight. Really no different. It was, a big force leader drove the whole outfit in the direction that he wanted it to go. And that's the way it was. And so then, like FatCake said, he stopped playing for a little while and then came back and started playing again. And so I joined up and started playing with him. If you ever run across FatCakes in his Prowler, more than likely, if I'm online, I'm in his Top Gun. I won't let anybody else gun his tank. I have to do it. And that keeps me up front, get all the kills. Not really. I don't get all the kills. I get all the assists. But anyway, that's me, Tman.
Yeah, what's up? Yeah, so I'm Tman. I started out, like almost 3 years ago? I don't know how long ago. Way after those guys started in the same outfit. loved infiltrator. That's how we all got, started up, like Lord said. And, I don't want to recap everything he said, but everything he said is pretty much correct. And then I started playing again because of another buddy that was like, yo, I'm playing with Lords, and at the time his name Bag and Drag with FatCakes and 69 AR. And I was like, no way. And I hadn't played in forever, so I kicked it on, started playing, and I was like, dang, I missed having an active group of people to play with. So I got back on, and I was like, cool. And I mean, I always loved playing with armor. It was, it wasn't always the thing I chose to do to begin with. But, if I got a good driver, I like to gun for armor. But my bread and butter has always been infiltrator ops and, sniping people in the head and pissing them off because, it's like the troll, the troll class. So anyone who's been on, and it's probably been headshotted by me once or twice and as a Vanu character. And now you're going to expect to see, Tman Terror coming out and in the TR and just coming in and headshotting you, so you better watch out. I'm still rusty though. So.
And our whole stalker cloak back in the day, man, before they nerfed the fucking cloak shimmer, we would the crossbows, the stalkers, we would just fucking camp vehicle terminals religiously, man. Oh, and just for y'all's information out there, it's not like when we quit playing, we didn't never talk to each other. I mean, I have FatCakes and Tman are both on my Facebook. We talk all the time.
Yeah.
Tman's a pilot. He may be flying the airplane that you fly across the country one day.
Yeah.
And not so distant future.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff coming in our future. That's the other thing, that's probably led a lot of us to kind of separate for a while as, real life got in the way. And, I got busy starting to get in the workforce. And, Cakes was, in the military, now going to school. Then, you're saying maybe going back. All these things led to us kind of stopping playing for a while. Now we're back and going to try and stay as active as we possibly can with, real life trying to hit us in the face at the same time. But so far, I mean, the growth has been ridiculous. It's cool being a part of something from, nearly the beginning. I wasn't really where I was before with these guys. I was at the tail end of it. So it's kind of cool to be at the beginning, kind of laying down foundations and stuff and re-exploring this game and really seeing, hoping, what Cakes was talking about yesterday was how do we kind of re-spark the interest into this game. So I'm hoping that we can have some sort of foot in the door for that, for not only for our outfit but also for everybody else who's interested in playing and kind of re-enlighten that spark to say, hey, this game's still alive, it's still going, and it still has plenty of potential. With that in mind, FatCakes, why don't you tell us a little more about your vision of what you have created, especially of. And I got to say, I'm fairly certain that you did not expect it to be as big as it's become. So tell us a little bit about, your expectations and all of that.
Yeah, so I guess starting out, I wanted to do something different, and we really have. Because one thing I noticed is, especially after the CAI update, the combined arms bullshit that everyone fucking hates so much. It's like the vehicle game just kind of took a shit. I mean, people still do it, but there's never really been a large outfit or a Zerg fit or whatever you want to call it that participates in that kind of stuff directly. I mean, it's always we'll pull tanks for a little while and then they go back to the infantry gameplay and whatever, and a lot of people do that, and that's all well and good, but I wanted to just do something that had never really been seen before. And I mean, some people may argue FedEx, a lot of people say, oh, we're just FedEx wannabes all day, and and whatever, say what you will. But I mean, we're not. The one thing that it'll differentiate us from, a lot of outfits really, except the larger Zerg fits, is we let just about anyone in. It's kind of a double-edged sword too, because we let people in who don't know what the fuck they're doing, and then they get us killed sometimes and do dumb shit, and it gets frustrating. Sure does get frustrating, but whatever. We're giving people a good time, and that's really the number one goal, is to have a good time with niche gameplay.
Well, also you have to keep in mind that all three of us came from Azure Twilight, and I don't know what anybody knows about Azure Twilight. The people that were in it probably know, but I mean, Azure Twilight was all about training, discipline, strict discipline, training. And when you do that and you tell everybody, I want everybody to respawn back to the warp gate now, pull gals, be ready. I'll tell you where we go when we get there. And in seconds, everybody, a whole platoon or more, were back at the warp gate, moving with running 69 AR open and allowing anybody in. There's a discipline issue. There's some of the people get it and they move, but some of the people it's not in them, or they don't have microphones. They don't hear what you're saying or whatever. And it's hard for me personally, because I'm like, do I want to put the energy into this that I did into Azure Twilight? And I don't know. And right. That's where we're feeling it out right now.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things, like you said, in AT, we were so training focused, and like that's not a bad thing at all. But the problem is you create a standard that, for some people, the followers especially, they expect. So when the few leaders that can play at
thanks
that
for the follow,
caliber,
Steve Holder.
Yeah, definitely. But sorry, caught me off guard there. But those guys are going to expect that caliber, and so unless you have a core leadership that's going to stick around to provide that caliber, then you're going to end up eventually just the people that don't get that type of gameplay are going to end up just going. And I think that's ultimately why a lot of people stopped playing for a while, is we lost a lot of that caliber of leadership. And so it's like, do we want to make that something that everyone's used to again? And then, ultimately the leader's going to have to be responsible for upholding that caliber constantly on a day. It's like you're saying, are you willing to put that energy in? Am I willing to put that energy in? Is Cakes willing? Do we have the numbers and the activeness leadership wise to continue to provide that caliber of ops every night?
Yeah, because 3 leaders are not going to run a healthy outfit. It needs a big, a fairly large core of leadership to keep it running, because us 3 can't always be around. And I say us 3, Tman and FatCakes. I don't guess much of a fucking leader, I don't think, but the leaders have to be there. The ops has to be run. People got to know, is the outfit even here? I can tell you from Azure Twilight experience, there were times, where the core top leaders of Azure Twilight just fucking disappeared.
Yeah.
And they left it in Snipe's lap, and he did a fucking glorious job. I love that man to death.
But it's not a one-man army.
But it's not a one-man army, exactly. And that was the problem, is he actually was going to school, and he couldn't be on. And that hurt, and that's what started. I don't Zerg. I mean, well, it depends on your definition of Zerg. I don't solo play. I cannot stand to solo play in virtually any game. I like teamwork and objectives, and day after day. I mean, I after I stopped playing in Azure Twilight, I lurked in the TeamSpeak for years, and I would see it every single day. I would see, oh, there's 5 people in the ops channel, and I'm like, that's not what I want. I want some large ops. And I'll tell you, speaking about the tank stuff, and it's a trip as well, because I was not tank vehicle oriented by any imagination when I was playing with Azure Twilight. My two niches were medic and light assault, and then infiltrator when we started doing the infiltrator thing. But I'm loving the fucking the tank column work. And I just want to give a little message out to you guys who think, we read Reddit, we read all the things and all the fucking bullshit and all the rage that goes on about 69AR, and we love it. And we gain 10 members every time you rage about us. So, keep that shit up, man. We love it. But you look at some of the VODs of FatCakes, and on numerous occasions, you'll hear him say stuff like, let's pull back and let the enemy catch their breath and generate their fucking resources and get new armor. Because that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a fight. We're not looking to steamroll. We want a good fucking fight. And I swear I saw it in one of FatCakes' VODs, is he said, and he's said this numerous times, where we encircled the base, we took all their Sundays out so they couldn't continue the assault on the base. Mm-hmm. And then, FatCakes looking at the map says, everybody pull back, everybody push north, go, 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 go. Pulled everybody out of the hex, let the enemy come back in and take the base, because that base was a better forward operating position for armor to go up against us. Yeah. So it's not about just and I can tell, I've run a lot of ops with 69AR. I have never sat and shelled spawn rooms. Now, when FatCakes is not on, the other guys may do that when they run ops. But with FatCakes, I've never heard FatCakes go, all right, everybody shell the spawn room and let's keep them in there. We don't, man. Once we clear the Sundays out, what we figure is the TR infantry, it's your job now. We've done our fucking job. We're gone.
Yeah. And there's a lot to be said about that. Like, with this game, I mean, the lifeblood, I really think, are the outfits. I mean, if you don't have outfits, you don't have true regular players. I mean, you might have your solo guys who are worried about the fucking KDR and want their directives and all that shit. But I don't give a fuck about any of that. I don't give a shit about my KDR. I don't give a shit about all those directives. I just looked at them earlier, and I fucking don't even have any of them, really. And I was thinking, well, maybe I could unlock something. Whatever. Fuck all that. Like, it's all about the good fight. And the good fight it's hard to find. And the current way and the mechanics of the game don't provide for that all the time. Like, it takes some kind of a generation. Like, it has to be built somehow, and I mean, it's usually just, it happens. Some of the most memorable fights might not be over a single fucking cap point. They might be out in the fucking middle of nowhere, like in some random ass field with just a Sunday that's left over from a fight, and there might be a fight over this hill or something like that. So yeah, I mean, I'm going out there to try to find these fights, and I didn't want to be the typical outfit, the typical fucking Zerg fit, whatever you want to call it. And I wanted to bring something new to the table. And, that's just what we've done. And yeah. I want to take a second to definitely, talk about the Enclave a little bit. Because, man, love them or hate them, they were fucking, I really think they were good for the game. The shit they did, I mean, we did the same shit in AT. We just didn't have near the numbers, or we were close to the discipline, but it wasn't there as well. I mean, we just didn't do it as good as they did. I mean, that's my opinion or whatever, but that's how it, as far as I see it.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, I mean, they did it. I mean, I guess most. I wouldn't say all the credit goes to Buzz. I don't even think he would say that. But those guys knew what they were doing. They didn't fuck off. They came in for good ops. They knew what to expect, and they fucking executed. And that's what I'm going for here. It's just, I'm not him. He's just really good at what he does. I used to, watch his streams and try to take away as much as I could from what he was doing. And, I got some of the things I don't, it's fine. But, that's definitely the goal if there ever was one. Because, I mean, what outfit has ever been, so damn dominant? And, I wish they would get this game fucking unfucked so they would decide to come back or something. I would love to play alongside them.
Yeah, over the
Even,
past. Oh, go ahead.
go ahead, man. You're good.
I was gonna say over the past, few years, those answered, T1's question there, like how many players are actively playing, and right now, it says I'm looking at a graphic, and I don't know the accuracy of it, but it says for all of them actively about 40 minutes ago was around 1,800 people, and over the past few, years, it's gone down a little bit, which is kind of sad to see because it's such a good game with such good potential, and like. Cake said if they just unscrew this freaking game, they'd probably have a lot of players joining back. Like, back in May of 2016, the average was about 11,000 players, and even before that, we were in the 20,000 players. And it was enough that the game broke the world record for the most players in the first person shooter battle. I mean, the game had crazy potential. Now that was a fun day. Let me just say the lagging was off the charts, but it still had the player base back then. They had the vision, they had the goal, and it just seems like while the updates still roll out and cool features still come out every now and then, even although this past update's been utter garbage, let's just say that, they don't promote it. It's like what's the good about making these updates if you're not going to have a good PR campaign, to kind of spark that interest into the work you just did to make the next update better.
Here's the thing, man. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. And this, from the very fucking beginning, this has happened with this game, in that the people who went on the forum, on the PlanetSide 2 forums and Reddit and cried about crap, they got their changes. It wasn't, and they wouldn't listen to the pros, the guys, the competitors, the people who were looking, that came from PlanetSide 1 and the longevity of PlanetSide 1, and begging PlanetSide 2, guys, make this the game that PlanetSide 1 was. Make it something special that's going to last. Give us a purpose for these fights. And I'll tell you right now, Buzzcut Psycho had the fucking answers to this game. He still has the answers to this game. They just won't listen to him, which they should.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally, man. And I mean, a lot of the things I've already said, I mean, I'm sure he would echo. And I don't mean to fucking treat him as a Christ or anything, but he knew what he was talking about. And people want to be a part of an outfit in this game for the most part. I mean, there's plenty of people who just dick around and play this as Call of Duty, and the same kind of mindset. But that's just the problem, is they're catering to that kind of player, the lazy player, the player that wants to go around and get a bunch of headshots and get a fucking kill streak. And like, dude, I don't give a shit about any of that. I mean, sure, it's exciting when I have a good fucking great KDR, or when I get fucking 5 kills in fucking 2 seconds. Yeah, sure, it's cool, but that's not why I play. I play for the moments where, me and a bunch of other dudes talking a bunch of shit in a fucking chat channel are fucking just overwhelming the shit out of the enemy and fucking pushing them back and doing the thing. I mean, there's no other game where you can do this kind of thing. It's just, it's non-existent. Every other fucking FPS out there is mostly bullshit. That's why I keep coming. That's why I keep coming to this game. There's always something new every time you get in the game. Whether you get in a damn aircraft, a tank, a Sunderer, whatever class. I mean, there's so many options, and you really can do it how you want to do it. And that's kind of why we're successful, is we have a way to do things that isn't being done. And I'm trying to do my part in keeping the game alive, because other games don't really do it for me as well as this. I mean, you just can't beat it. It needs work, and I wish the devs would start realizing that the outfits are what keeps the game going. I mean, I understand them wanting to have all these like new implants and whatever, and we'll talk about the new update here in a little bit. But they got to make their money, and I understand that. But I wish they would realize, and I'm no marketing genius or anything, but if they would realize that keeping people in the game is going to earn you money, and arguably more money than all these new unlocks. If people want to play the game, they're gonna want to put money into the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things they got to cater to what the product that they bring, which is a massive open set of continents that you can get hundreds of people into one area and start shooting at each other, right? And do it in a way that allows leaders to really come out and shine with that ability to work not only within their own squads but with others, to really create this connective experience where it's not just you and 3 people, it's not just you and 10 people against you and 10 other people, but it's you, your 50 people, another person and their 50 people, another person and their 50 people against 300 other people on the other side, right? And not only that aspect, but that it can be you and your 50 in tanks, the other person their 50 in aircraft, the other person their 50 on the ground, right? And it creates this very immersive and interactive experience that they need to continue to cater to and stop worrying about, okay, what's the KDR, but more so, what's the strategy? What's the connectiveness? Like you said, we're going to talk about the update in a little bit, but I think addressing the icons with the squad and platoon was cool, but they kind of did it in a lackluster way. But those are the kind of things that they should really focus on. In my opinion, is that kind of gameplay is the group core gameplay that makes this game so special.
Well, I also think the whole lattices need to be reworked. The continent locking needs to have a purpose, needs to have a reason, and needs to be able to be countered. You need to be able to have a faction lock a continent, and then you need to be able to have other factions unlock a continent, and kind of like giving continents ownership. And I'll tell you one thing that I'm really appalled to, and FatCakes and I talked about this last night, is can you if you're a hardcore PlanetSide 2 player from way back, you know what the last continent that was made was. We all know what it was. What is a Hassan, right?
Yeah.
Coulter, but
Coulter, that didn't really count.
But Hassan, there hasn't been another fucking continent. How long have I been gone from this game? And I came back, and hasn't been at least one. There should have been 2 or 3 more new continents.
Well, remember how long it took to get Hassan? I mean, it took forever.
It did, but I mean, there should at least be one new continent. And Coulter is a waste. It's really a waste of time. Yeah. I understand that in the part of what they did was, I remember the whole tutorial thing that you got going when you start a new character, you're put into this tutorial thing, and they made Coulter so it'll give you a place to go kind of practice without stats or certs or resources having any play in it. So you could actually go in there and try everything out and actually battle people. But, we took 69 AR into Coulter the other day to do some infantry practice and point hold practicing, and 1 or 2 people may have came by and was looking at us like, the hell are you guys doing here? But for the most part, we were all alone in Coulter. So nobody uses it. It's a waste of time. Hell yeah, probably should just make Coulter live, man.
Gosh, imagine that it's such a small continent.
I know. It'd be
probably a lot of fun.
Brutal battles would happen in that thing.
That's why that would be pretty interesting. Smaller continent.
Yeah, but that's actually
maybe even a resource battle. Fighting over limited resources. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, if they did make it live, I mean, when there's only one continent open and everyone else is in queue, I mean, why the hell not make it so you can earn certs on the thing? I mean, I understand it being VR and everything. But hell, just make it a live freaking continent or something. I don't know. It's just
Well, there's a VR to be VR
yeah,
already.
totally. I don't know why they haven't released another continent. Honestly, I don't even care if it's not polished, as long as it functions. So what if the flow of battle sucks? I'll deal with it. I mean, I don't know. It's a little frustrating that they haven't released not a single one in such a long time. I mean, I played a little bit of PlanetSide 1. I'm not an expert on PlanetSide 1. I did play like for 3 or 4 months with AT before PS2 came out, and it was great. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I followed damn orders, and hell, even a single squad on there, you had something to do, and that goes into another thing is, these smaller outfits. I mean, what is there to do as a smaller outfit in this game right now? I mean,
Right.
if you have one
Besides join a
squad,
Zerg.
yeah, I mean, if you're one squad, maybe you can get something done. And then there's some really good, I guess, elite fits out there who can make a big difference with a squad, and more power to them. But what about the casual player? I mean,
Mhm.
not everyone is, super awesome at FPS. Hell, I'm not that good. I mean, my KDR is like, hell, I don't know, like 1.3. That's not, spectacular. It's about on average, but I like to deal with big numbers because that's where you really can see the effects in the game, and you can really make a huge difference. But yeah, I put up a proposal a while back on Reddit, which I mean might as well have been a waste of time. But if there were more like sub objectives on these bases, that maybe it's not necessarily in the hex, or maybe working with the lattice a little bit to make smaller engagements a thing, instead of pushing just zergs up through these lanes. Because like let's take a base for example, off the top of my head, like the Paris East. I forget what it's called, like Paris Eastern Grove or some, I don't know, but the eastern little substation of Paris Amp Station on Endor, right? You don't need a 96 plus population on that shit. You just don't. And it's brutal. It's a fucking slugfest. If you're not that good at the game to begin with, it's not fun. It's sure as fuck not fun. You're just going to get farmed. And like that's where the new player experience kind of fails in situations like that. You can't make a difference as even 6 people on that really, unless you're, doing cheese tactics like C4 or something. Which, we do light assault C4 a little bit. I can't talk too much shit about it, but it's those cheese tactics that are going to get anything done. You can't just go in on the dirt and run straight into the fight. You're just going to get slaughtered. But that's just kind of my take on that.
But I mean, that used to be like the predefined, I don't know, idea behind this game is like when you start out, I that's what I thought when I first started, and I know this was a fact, is that, the game, they really catered to the fact that the KDR really didn't matter in this game, and that when you start out, you're really going to die a lot. Like that was just how it was. I remember when I played, I don't know when I got my first kill. It took me forever. But, it really, at the time, was pushing the teamwork aspect. Like, you're going to die a lot if you're on your own. Don't even try it. Go ahead and join up with squads and, try and be effective in that manner. But like you said, I mean, now it's just, hey, here's the lattice. Because when I first started playing this game, there was no lattice. So you could literally just hop wherever you wanted to and start taking a base. Now it's this whole lattice system where you have to, work the different zones, and you can't deploy that far away from where you were, and so like you said, it just funnels everyone into one area, which I mean, I guess I can understand it because when you have those down times where there's not that many people playing, then it's going to get pretty boring if you don't have a fight to play. So people
I'll tell you,
yeah.
it would be nice if when you're running a lattice and you hit a tech plant, for instance, that's it. That's the end of the story. You hit the tech plant, and now it's the tech plant, and you go after it. I think it would be really cool if it was more than that. That you hit the lattice, you came up to the base before the tech plant, and you took it, But now you had to take several satellite bases around the tech plant in order to open the tech plant to be able to even be attacked. And it took a coordinated effort to do that.
Yeah, that goes all... Go ahead, sorry.
If you combine that with having other goals in the game on other bases, then your one squad outfit is not going to attack a tech plant by themselves. They'll go for the lesser objectives. But on Command Chat, which we don't have anymore, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, when a big outfit is saying we're making a run for the tech plant, we need some guys to start bringing down the outer rim or what have you. And that would make it, it'd be a much more sweeter berry to pick than just running down a lane until you meet up with a tech plant. Just some idea.
Yeah, that ties into the idea I proposed where, each major facility does have satellite bases. I believe all of them do, where they share the same name. And if you remember back in beta, and I'm talking early beta, when there was no lattice, you could, by taking the satellites, you decrease the time needed to hold those main
I forgot all about that.
Yeah. And that was genius, and I don't know why in the hell they got rid of that. Because that would be great. And like in my proposal, I kind of take it a step further. Say, because I did my example on Paris. So, like the Paris, I think it's Paris Barracks, which is to the west. I could be wrong, but the western base nonetheless. Imagine if that was the home of the SCU for Paris, Maine. Think about that. Now, all of a sudden, your squad outfit can make a massive difference in the fucking fight for Paris. Or even, if the Paris Watchtower to the north controlled the vehicle spawning. Or the Paris East, the shitty small base I mentioned earlier, controlled all the shield generators of Paris. Like, now you're talking about a serious, complex fight that does need coordination, especially from smaller units, like squad-sized units. Because the thing is, say all those bases do those mechanics or whatever, you can still take Paris, Maine, without holding any of those. You just have to have a substantial coordinated force to do so. You still have to shield crash and GSD Sunday and stuff back in there, but you could still take it. So it's stuff like that would really make a big difference. And honestly, I think we could probably do a whole podcast on just this subject. But
right,
yeah,
and maybe we will.
Yeah. So at this point, I guess moving forward, we should probably start talking about the update. So go ahead if y'all have some initial stuff you want to talk about with the update. I'm going to pull it up here so I can.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions at all out there that you want answered, just go ahead and put them in chat, and we'll answer them.
Yeah, give me 1 second while I pull up these notes.
Yeah, I don't have the update notes open, but what I do have is the Planetside 2 Reddit.
Yeah, and that'll tell you everything you need to know, really.
Oh my God, man.
Even though you have to filter through the shit posts and everything. But I will say, I kind of appreciate what they did with the squad UI and the mechanics and everything, even though they fucked it up with the waypoints. Because, as of right now, the platoon waypoint and the Bravo squad waypoint look exactly the fucking same, and that is just dog shit. I don't know why they decided to roll that out live like it is. I'd rather they roll that back at the moment, but at least now you can host squads as outfits. But go ahead.
One thing before we start is Rel, or whoever's in charge, whoever makes the decisions, whoever thought it was a good idea to make flashes able to absolutely destroy lightnings and harassers in a blink of an eye is a fucking idiot. Those are the worst fucking things on the face of this planet. Those wraith flashes with that whatever gun. The Vanu has the OP gun, from what I understand. I don't even know what it is. It's just I've seen it. I've seen it happen a million times. We have as part of our column, it's happened. We have a Skyguard friggin' lightnings, and a fucking Wraith Flash just pulls up onto its ass end, and it's dead in seconds. Gone.
Now, I think it would be balanced. Is that balanced? Yeah, it would be balanced, in my opinion, if the Flash couldn't fucking cloak with a weapon. I don't know who thought that was ever a good idea. Like That's just been, I mean, if a single player can go in and fuck something up that costs that many nanites, like, let's be real, how much is a Flash? 50 nanites? And a fucking Lightning is, I think, 350? Like, that's just fucked up as it is. I mean, come on. Like, but if you take away the Wraith module, or say, maybe not take away the Wraith module, because I think it serves a purpose, but I think that purpose is it's way off base right now, and it's being exploited to fuck. Like, the Wraith should disable or even take off any weapons on the Flash, period. Like, the Wraith is meant to get behind enemy lines, let's be real. It's not meant to fucking, or well, let's be real, it probably is meant to go around and fuck shit up like it currently does, but that's bad fucking development. It's bad. Like, you can't. I'm sitting here raging a little bit, just fucking talking about it. But and I don't face those Flashes that much, to be honest. I see other people getting killed by them all the time, but I haven't really had that big of a problem. But I feel for other
you're
people.
In a Prowler.
Well, yeah, but I feel for the people who do have to deal with it. I mean, it's a nanite imbalance, and being able for one person to go and do that thing. Like, in this game, one person isn't supposed to be able to do much, if fucking anything. Yeah. It's a massive team-based game. I mean, that's what it is. Yeah. You're meant to be in a squad. Like, if you're complaining anything about one-on-one or anything like that, like, no, that's just the wrong argument. The only place where that argument might suffice is, like, one-on-one aircraft, maybe. Okay.
Right.
If you have a complaint in that realm, I'll hear you. But yeah, like, in the whole, I remember when, like, the Jihad Flash thing was huge, and, dude, I mean, come on, I get it, and I haven't seen people do it much anymore. I'm not really sure why, but, and I'm kind of glad it's kind of dissipated, but, I realize war isn't fair, I've been to war, I understand, but at the same time, let's think about balance a little more. Because that decision was just, I mean, god damn, who was fucking thinking of that one? And then and then the other factions shit is just garbage. Like the Pillager, man. I remember unlocking it and I was like, oh boy, the Pillager, and then it's fucking awful. Like, what's the point of that thing? I mean, to drop FPS for other people, I mean, that's your best chance of killing somebody else. You drop their FPS with that while somebody on the fucking ass end of your Flash kills them, maybe. But yeah, man, I don't know. I'm gonna pull up these update notes if y'all got something to add while I'm pulling up.
Yeah, it's interesting, like you say, like war isn't fair, and then that's true. I mean, heck, you know better than all of us, and I mean, but this ain't real war. This is a game that simulates a war, and there's some aspects of that you're not gonna want to simulate in the game because. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, war is brutal. It's meant to be a game. It's meant to be fun. Not meant to be, if it really had an unbalanced meta like that, everyone would just jump to one side and play on that one side. But I think one thing that's interesting, like you're raging about the Wraith Flash, is that there's no counter against it, right? You said, there's two things you can do for this, right? You can have it where it can do this kind of damage, but then you got to produce some sort of counterattack to that, and that's, I mean, you can even relate that to real war, right? We create something, someone else on the side is going to create something to go against that, right? We create nukes, someone else creates a nuclear detection system, things like that, or other people create nukes to kind of counter our nukes. Either way, you create something that can, kind of counter that, some sort of radar, some sort of implant, some sort of something that, if used would kind of help balance the situation a little bit instead of being like, oh, surprise, here's some surprise butt sex for you right behind the lightning and destroy them out of nowhere. I love the mechanic personally as a main infiltrator player because it gets me around. I can't shoot crap on those things. It's just too bouncy for me. But I do love the application of it as a transport to get behind enemy lines, like you were saying. But when you're on the other end of being attacked by it, it's just a pain because you're like, you see it go by and you're like, there's nothing you can do. You can't really hunt it down because it kind of disappears so fast. There's no way to track down really, especially in a big battle where you can't really listen for it. So it's like if you see it cloak and go by, you're like, oh, hopefully I get him on the next run, or hopefully I don't die on the next run. Like,
I will
really
say the one, and I try to I always think about the counter arguments to stuff like this. The one hint at balance that I will say exists in the Wraith Flash with that VS weapon or any weapon, the Fury's not too bad either, is it only takes like one good placed tank round to kill a Flash, and
oh yeah.
And I think if you can't take the counter argument, I don't think you should be arguing to begin with. But definitely, at least there's that. I will say that. But at the same time, like you're not. Yes, SROP. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand the whole purpose behind the Wraith Flash with a weapon like that. I mean, you already have the infiltrator. Go infiltrate. Don't freaking, pick dudes off. I mean, I don't know. It's just it requires no coordination and minimal effort. And if you're going to be able to take out an enemy vehicle rather quickly, I believe it needs to take some kind of skill and effort. I mean, it's like that's why I don't complain too much about Light Assault C4. I mean, I kind of hate it. But at the same time, I get it. It's niche gameplay. It's fun, and I hate effective.
It, but I do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
And I'm good at it.
Yeah, but it's at least with Light Assault and C4, it takes at least a little bit of skill to get those C4 kills, especially after the current nerf it got, which to me seems minimal, but I don't have that much time in a Light Assault to begin with, so I can't really comment too much on that one. But what do y'all think about the new implants? Because there's a shitload of them now. Have y'all tried any of them? Any of the newer ones?
I haven't tried any of them. I just don't have the. I don't have the money right now, and I don't have the fucking ISO to be building them up. Of course, I'm looking at all these implants and I'm reading what they do, and your eye instantly wants to go down to level 5. What does it do at max? And some of that stuff is, it's pretty surprising what it does at max level 5, but I just don't see that. I don't think we should look at max level 5. I think that's going to be the exception to the rule. I don't think, unless, somebody discovers a massive exploit that when you get this implant to level 5, you can do all this wonderful stuff. And then everybody will be pushing for that, and they'll be unlocking it like crazy. And, I think there's what's that one? There's one implant that I was reading on Reddit, I believe it was. It when you drop out of a vehicle, an aircraft, and you land, it cloaks you for 3 seconds or something like that, or something like that. What's that implant? But
covert drop, I believe.
Yeah, covert drop, and I was reading part of that where it said that if you use the ejection system, it cloaks you for 6 seconds. So a light assault could, or no, if you use the ejection system as a light assault, instead of hitting the ground and cloaking, when you trigger your jump jet, it cloaks you. So now light assaults can drop out of Can they drop out of Valks and pump their jump jet and have 6 seconds of invisibility above their targets for which to freely choose where they're going to place their C4? I think that could be something, but that's at level 5.
Yeah, and I will say, like, covert drop looks pretty mean, and as much as I might not like it, like looking at it on paper, it's a good counter to what we do, with the armor columns. Like, it gives us more people a little boost when it comes to taking us out, because there needs to be a counter for us, and that's definitely it. Other than that, I mean, they're counters, but it doesn't involve anything more than picking off a tank here and there. So you get some coordinated.
Some armor.
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. But if you get some people coordinated enough to use those implants and use them correctly, like, all right, I'll take the fucking death. Hell yeah, good job, buddy. But which one was I gonna speak of? I will say it looks like there's some more infiltrator specific implants, which I'm actually like. I think the infiltrator needs more stuff to do. I mean, some people hate the infills. I know, like, Buzzcut Psycho would bitch about them, say they're useless, this, that, and the other. Like, they don't do a whole lot of infiltrating. But there's one firewall that I saw that was pretty interesting. I don't plan on getting it or anything. Cool. But yeah, firewall seems actually useful now. I mean, you can go up to your friendly turrets, like your base turrets, and actually stop them from being hacked and whatnot. So that's pretty cool. It gives infills more stuff to do.
I wasn't sure if it says that it increases their health pool. It didn't really say anything about preventing the hacking as far as that's concerned. So I don't know. I really want to see that one. But the one I'm more interested in is actually not really the infiltrator ones, but the medic one there, mending field. I think that one's kind of interesting because a lot of the times you're sitting in a battle, your health bar goes down pretty far. And then, you're like medic and he's dealing with somebody else and you want to get back in the fight, but your health is too low. But now if they're running with that, your health will get healed back up, maybe even enough to get you out of the fight, back before you killed.
Or you just equip regen.
Yeah, or you can equip regen, which would be nice, but maybe, you have 2 others that you want to, equip for your fighting style. And so
but that's the problem. I mean, if they're going to put this many more implants in, maybe they need to give us 2 more slots.
Gosh, could you imagine? I mean,
one more would be
I feel like that'd be broken. But one more would be nice. But goodness gracious, could you imagine having like 4 implants? You'd just be like a freaking beast with different the way you combine these things. I mean, already we're saying that infiltrator with the cat-like and the that cloak on staff.
Operative.
Goodness gracious. Yeah, no, the one that you cloak instantly when you stab
God almighty. Yeah,
right? Yeah. And then if you just keep going in there and slashing people with one hit knife, you're just going to be invisible the entire time.
Yeah, I wish they'd spend half the time they spent on these implants on like a new continent, though. But I'm not trying to get off topic with that. But
it's warranted. I mean, I wish they'd spend a little
more of a meta game.
Yeah,
make shit worth. Make shit worth.
There's so many of them. I mean, I kind of like the original implant system where it's very simple, basic. There's so many of them now. It's just like, how do you combine these? Which ones do you?
Dude, I think implants need to drop onto the map, and you need to fight over them.
That would be pretty dope too. I'd be pretty happy about that.
Yeah,
they should
at least
parachute drop.
A little battle royale.
Yeah.
I wish. I'm very glad at least you can craft some of these implants now. Cause man, I get one of those damn boxes every now and then, or those crates, and dude, I don't get shit. I mean, I get like ammo printer fucking every other time, and then some other like assimilate. Man, like I've had that shit since implants came out, and
well, that's the way you build your ISO up. Is
yeah, but shit. I mean, right now I only got like 200 or 300 ISO from that shit. I mean, I don't know. It's gonna take me a minute to get any of these fucking implants up to something respectable, other than like level fucking 2 or 3. But
I mean, there may be some pro tryhard people that generate the fuck out of ISO somehow or way, but it certainly ain't me. And I'm looking at that 3,000 or 2,400 level 5. I don't have a single implant that has level 5 on it, except for a couple of the gold ones that I've gotten. But I haven't upgraded to level 5 on any of them because, man, that's a large freaking ISO. Without spending money, that is it, for me, it's insane. Not to mention, the average player who's not in an outfit and not generating, a lot of fucking certs and shit, and winning alerts gives you a good pump, I guess.
Yeah, that's kind of why some people hate us too, is because, like, man, most of the time I don't give a shit about alerts. But, that's a good way to get out some fucking, get some of that shit. But, you know, whatever. I mean, I have the implants I want, really. They ain't leveled up that well, but fuck it. Like I said, I'm more worried about good gameplay than being able to heal fucking deployables within 20 meters of me for 2 seconds or whatever the fuck one of those new ones does, man.
Right. One I just saw on here is I think it's for, I don't see the date on here, but the suppressor. Kind of signing back to my infiltrator, but they dropped the velocity penalty on it from 20% down to 15% overall weapons, and it doesn't range anymore, and it no longer reduces maximum damage range, which is pretty awesome. So now all that stuff that I used to do the research on, what was the one shot headshot for the sniper rifle, between having a suppressor on and not having it on, now it doesn't matter as far as the distance. It's just going to be velocity, which is going to actually be a little bit faster now. So they're trying to...
A little faster, yeah.
Yeah, they're trying.
That's actually a good thing.
I know, because they're trying to promote it. They're saying on here, in most cases, remain one of the least desirable attachments to equip, which made sense, especially if you had a weapon that was decreased 50% by a suppressor. But now, they're trying to change that, which is cool. I kind of like that.
I'll tell you one thing that affects us is the change to the hash.
Oh yeah, I never really run hash unless you pull it though.
But I'm looking at a Reddit post right now where the King Deadly Titan did a comparison and on all of them, and I was there. It's 1 round difference between the hash and the AP. The AP takes 6 rounds. They're doing Vanguard versus Vanguard versus Vanguard versus. 6 rounds for a Vanguard to kill a Mag Rider and a Prowler, and 7 hash rounds to kill a Mag Rider or Prowler. But what was interesting was, and I thought this was cool, is they made the AP round so the AP round can no longer one-shot an infantry with max flak armor on.
Yeah.
And that's good. That's what flak armor is for, right?
Yeah, totally agree there.
And I kind of like that. I run flak armor on certain medic builds and max on my max.
No, yeah, definitely. It's like almost a must on a max. As much as the C4 cheese will get you. Well, I'd say cheese, but you gotta have something to counter a damn max, especially the NCs. But we won't go there. I will say I do like the little bit of suppressor buff, and if I'm not mistaken, didn't they take away the one-shot headshot or one-shot kill ability with suppressor from like 250 meters plus?
No, well, they like I said, they eliminated the damage fall off with the suppressor, so it falls off with the
Oh,
normal weapon now. It
o-
doesn't have a different fall off.
okay. So I can from like render distance, I can one-shot
Yeah,
somebody with a
Yes,
Rams
with the
50 with a
Rams.
suppressor. Okay, good.
you should be
Yeah.
able to.
Because that, I
We need to
mean, it
we
takes
need to
skill to do
test it.
that. Yeah, I mean, it's not
Oh
easy
yeah,
to hit those headshots. I mean, if people are sitting still, sure it is if you know where to aim. But
yeah,
but still, like that's a long shot. I think you should
yeah.
you should get rewarded for that stuff like that.
Right,
So,
exactly.
so what do you guys think of the change to the Valkyrie?
I haven't been in it enough to really realize the difference yet. I've felt the striker nerf harder than the Valkyrie nerf, but
Well, we were on a base yesterday, and a Valk came overhead, and I remember saying in chat, everybody small arms it, and we took it out really fast. But now, in defense of the Valkyrie, the guy flying it was not showing his best side to us. He was showing the side and almost the top,
yeah,
and but in there's bottom armor on the Valkyrie. But I mean that thing it melted really fast, and there are a lot of posts on Reddit. Um, RIP Valkyrie. Just there's more than a few talking about how the Valkyrie's worthless now.
yeah. I mean, in my opinion, the Valkyrie, I don't really think it needed a nerf in any form or fashion because if you're using a Valkyrie effectively, I mean, that's sick. Up to 6 people that are actually working together. That kind of play style needs to be benefited.
Well, from when we used to play, when the Valkyrie first came out, it was pretty beefy, and then they nerfed the shit out of it,
Oh yeah, it became dog shit. I remember that.
and it became total dog shit. And I guess they rebuffed it, and then we came back, and then it was in its rebuff state, and now they just nerfed it again to dog shit.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that there's a guy on VS that runs Valkyrie like all the time, and every time we run it, it feels like that I'll run into him, and he actually. I remember in a few air anomalies, actually, he'd use Lancers on the thing, and like Valkyrie on Valkyrie, like we couldn't beat him. I mean, I give it to him. Like they knew what they were doing, and those Lancers were tearing us up. Even with the Strikers and the former before the nerfs, we couldn't take them out. I mean, they were repairing so fast. So maybe that's a little unbalanced. I don't know, but at the same time, if dudes are going to coordinate, dudes are going to
So
dominate.
did they nerf the striker in
True.
this last update?
Yeah, I'll pull it up right here. One
That's
second.
terrible. But they buffed the swarm, you said? It's a money scam. They just
Yeah.
want you to buy. They just want to sell more rocket launchers.
It's where did it go? Projectile lifespan from 5 to 2. So the range is 445 meters. It used to be past render distance, I believe. Which, I mean, I don't even use the striker anymore at this point since it's gotten nerfed so hard. I actually picked up the swarm, and I'm actually pretty pleased with it, more or less. It's not the most powerful thing,
Hey,
but
is that Kyra at 22 in chat?
no, that's I don't think so.
That
Yeah,
says
it's a different-
Kira Akari.
Well, either way, welcome. Glad you're in, sitting in, listening to us.
Yeah, welcome everybody. Appreciate you all coming in and hearing what
So
we
what-
have to say.
What kind of swarm? What kind of the swarm? It got a buff. It got a range buff, right?
Yeah, it's from, I think it was 400 to 800. Hold on, let me look.
Yeah, it was 400 to 800, I believe, was what it was.
But yeah, I started using that thing, and I mean, I'm getting hits, getting some kills. It's definitely effective. I imagine in groups that thing's really strong, but as should anything in a group.
Yeah, I might have to pick that up.
Oh yeah, that's Hogan. That's one of the guys. He's been around for a couple weeks now.
I need that one-hit knife is what I need.
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting that myself. We might need to submit our outfit decal. Looks like a bunch got pushed through this past go around. B tier got one.
We need to make one, don't we?
I mean, we kind of have one. It's in the middle of the command chat thing on the stream.
Yeah, but I don't know if...
Is that too many colors or something?
Well, for a vehicle emblem, it is. I believe.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know what the requirements are for outfit emblem.
Didn't it take the AT decal like forever to get in the game?
Yeah, it took it a while. I still have all the templates. I have the template and the document I had to fill out and everything for that. I saw it the other day.
But overall, I will say I do like some of these squad changes. I'm probably going to do some mentor squads when I'm just dicking around during the day here and there. I think that'll be a pretty good thing to have.
Oh, there was let me find this. Hold on. You guys keep talking.
Sorry, I was kind of not paying attention there.
No, go ahead, Tman. I know you got something.
Nah, I was trying to. Work started getting in the way.
Look at chat in your stream. And take a look at that image.
Oh yeah, I saw that on Reddit earlier today.
Yeah, I mean, the idea was good, and so this is actually something I wanted to touch on. Is like, I liked that they went for this. I like that they went to try and streamline this because it kind of needed a little bit. It wasn't too hard to understand the old ones, but it would have been nice to have more prevalent ones like this. But the problem that I think we've all seen as of yesterday was that the squad versus platoon one in the game, right? We couldn't see what was the difference.
Yeah, on the HUD itself, not the map. The map seemed to work. It seemed to function as intended.
Right.
Okay. In the fix that's coming, one of the things that's going to be in the fix this is on Rel's Twitter, updated directional facing for squad mates using a little pip now instead of the large arrow. This will be in the hot fix. Because that arrow on the direction of your squad mates was
took up the
a little large, man.
Yeah.
So now it's just going to be a little pip, and he has a little screenshot example of it.
I just wish they would.
Here, I'll put a link.
I hope they fix that other issue, like where we had multiple things down and we couldn't tell who was whose. Especially if your squad leader put a waypoint down and the platoon leader put a platoon squad waypoint down. It was like, so which one do we follow? So I'm hoping they fix that so that way we can kind of get it a little bit better. Because that was very annoying. I did not like that at all.
One thing I've been thinking about suggesting actually is to be able to, and I can't remember if PlanetSide 1 had this or not. It might be the fucking Mandela effect or some shit. But I would like to be able to see like your own outfit, even if they're not in your platoon, as its own color. Like,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, that way, say we have some little fucking BR nothing running around that joined the outfit, and he sees like all these guys in the same colors, like, oh, that's my outfit, I'm gonna join up. Because I'll randomly see our dudes out there not in the platoon. That's kind of a quality of life thing that I think could work really well.
Yeah, and friends. It'd be nice to see friends.
Yeah, its own color.
On there. Yeah, because that would be nice too.
And maybe I don't know. y'all keep talking colors. God Almighty, we already don't have enough colors. Maybe a little asterisk or something for friend, or a circle with an F in the middle at the beginning of the something. Yeah. Some distinguishing characteristic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the same with like you said, the squad versus the platoon. Something. They're both, the platoon is a star, the squad is a star. It's like, you can come up with different things other than that.
Yeah, Vital, I noticed that yesterday. There were some waypoints that were stuck. Couldn't get rid of them. Yeah, they need to get a hot fix for this, like, immediately.
It's incredible. I mean, that's something that's so simple for the devs to go in and just see it immediately. You don't need a big beta team. You don't need a big test server for that. Literally, you go, okay, let's do this, and let's put it in on our closed server and run it real quick before we put it out live. Like, you would have seen it immediately. As soon as you put it on there, you'd been like, oh, yeah, that's going to cause trouble.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist to notice that when you start playing the game. So it made me wonder. That was like one of the first things. Like, I understand some bugs, you just can't replicate, right? No, until you put it on a live server. But that's no bug. That's like a full-on feature that could have easily just been like, all right, let's just throw out all these squad and platoon waypoints and see how this looks, right? See if this would make sense. If it actually helps in what they said the description was, which was to help distinguish it. Like, that was your purpose, and you didn't even test it to make sure that worked?
Yeah, Kenthrall, that's... I actually use yellow for Charlie Squad. I used to use white. I can't remember why I changed it. But we're coming up on an hour and a half. So if you guys have any questions... Oh, so we do have a question. Hold on.
Yeah, if you got any questions, throw them up in there. We'll answer some questions for a little bit, and then...
Yeah, actually, I'm reworking our basic training type deal, and I'm probably going to get one sometime this weekend. I need to start actually putting down times for the stuff, so you know when to expect it. But it's coming in the next couple of days, actually. And that's the infantry thing is starting to become tied into it, because I want to be able to get multiple platoons up and have that kind of thing going. But I also need to train leaders, so that's a whole nother thing. Having a large outfit this big, I got to start decentralizing a lot of the operations and stuff, and having other people that can take it over and whatnot. But yeah, since we're getting close to an hour and a half, if y'all have any last few questions, I'd be happy to answer them, and whether it be about the outfit, the stream, the game, anything at all.
And let me add this: if you would, please, if you haven't already, please give 69th ACR a follow here, and
definitely
in Twitch, and if FatCakes could post his YouTube channel and give him a follow and subscribe over there. And I think y'all could click on my name, and if Tman types in chat, click on his name and give both of us a Twitch follow. We both stream as well.
Yeah. I have a harder time streaming PS2 sometimes, but you'll see me stream some other games. So,
all right. Let's see, to answer the last few questions. The directives for construction, like I said this kind of towards the beginning of the stream, it's like I'm not one that's really big on directives. I know some people really enjoy those, and I'm glad at least if they're gonna have construction, give some people some more, carrots on a stick, so to speak, so they can actually, have a reason to do things. I mean, in my opinion, it's more of a Band-Aid than an actual, it's kind of like a Band-Aid to make the game more meaningful in a sense. But I think if we're going to have construction, I think it needs bigger purpose. Maybe I think they should take away a lot of the bases, maybe, and have more space for construction. So, if there's a big space between two bases, construction could serve more of a defensive purpose and actually have a place in the lattice. Maybe not like directly or specifically, so to speak, but if it's just there, to keep, said Sunderers from rolling up on the next base. If it's some kind of an obstacle, man, maybe that's a good idea. Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say in a game development, as far as even in competition in the business side of things here, for the game, they have, as far as base play, I mean, there's no questioning that the biggest game right now, playing right now is Fortnite, right? And so you don't. If they do this, I don't want to see them go like that kind of route where they're competing against something like that, which is mainly base building and fast base building, you know. So if they do it, they need to make it their own unique system. One, something that's more rewarding, that still goes to the meta of the game of big fights. Number two, I've seen some people do some interesting things as far as road blockades and stuff, but there's so much limitations on where you can put bases. Which, I mean, for some there are good reasons. Some it's just like, okay, whatever. But I've seen that kind of thing for road blockades and stuff. But they really need to make it a little bit more meaningful, like you said. And then to kind of touch up on, who was it? Kira's question. I mean, Cakes, you can definitively say, but I believe that our ranks are sticking the way they are. They did a lot of work on getting those ranks fleshed out, as far as you're saying for the outfit. So there won't be any more ranks. We got to work on filling the ranks that we have now, and we're still looking for a lot of potential leaders to fill in the lieutenant ranks and the people to step up to the sergeant ranks as well. So to create more ranks now would kind of be redundant, if I can say that.
Yeah, if there could be one added in the future, but if it's only going to be one if it's ever added at all, but that depends on the capability of Planetside. I like to keep it nice and simple so we don't have a shit fest of a rank structure. I mean, the one we got right now is pretty definitive and simple, more or less. I'd like to keep it that way. It could change, but probably not. But
we didn't address the elephant in the room about this update, though, real quick, is the taking away of leadership chat.
I heard it was a mistake. I read that it was a mistake. And I hope to God it was.
Final thoughts on outfits. And I was like, well, first of all, outfits aren't going to be able to work together if that doesn't come back.
But yeah, as far as outfits go in the game, man, I think there's not that many outfits that are like public, and it seems when they do that kind of thing, they get a bad name. Like AOD, for instance, everyone likes to rag on AOD, and that's whatever. I don't really have an opinion on them because I've never played with them. I've played alongside them here and there, and I've seen them be where they need to be at given times. But and the thing is they're very large, and that's because they're open. But these other outfits, or a lot of other outfits, seem to not be very welcoming to a lot of people. And that's fine in a lot of the sense, because some outfits are just a bunch of people who know each other that are friends who want to play together, and maybe they don't want people joining in on that one because new people can be a pain in the ass, which I've felt the effects of that for quite a while now. But at the end of the day, I'd like for new people to be able to come in and experience the game as it's supposed to be played. Whether some people think the way I play the game's cancerous as fuck, and that's fine. You can have that opinion, and I'll keep mine. But thoughts on Dog? I like Dog. Dog is great. I remember I've seen them in good fights quite a few times, and I know they're always they're working. They're one of the outfits that really works together. I know they've been around for a while too.
Oof.
Yeah, I'm definitely down with the Dog. I think I watched like an Enclave video a long time ago. And even Buzzcut actually praised Dog. I know they're a smaller outfit. That's it is what it is. Small, large, medium-sized, whatever. As long as people are there and playing the game and having a good time, that's what really matters. But
that kind of goes up to your question: do you think there should be rewards for better performing outfits? And it depends on the metric, one. But right now, is the way it goes. Better performing probably would assume larger numbers, which would really be a disadvantage for smaller guys who wouldn't really necessarily get rewards unless you did it by maybe by how many bases they cap. I don't know. But
well, that's tough because how many times have we rolled into a hex and had no involvement whatsoever? I mean, we didn't even fire a shot in the hex. We just rolled into the hex and took the base.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So
we didn't even fire. We were just rolling through the hex. And all of a sudden it comes up 69 AR is taking the base. And we're just like, okay.
Yeah, those mechanics are kind of trash in a way. They have a lot of flaws.
Yeah. And if you used anything else, it would be a numbers game. If you used average points, average kills, that would all be a numbers game. The ones with the bigger numbers would perform better. So it wouldn't really say to a better performing outfit, just a bigger outfit in total. So I don't think a reward program for better performing, in quotes, outfit would be a very beneficial thing, especially in the current moment.
Well, I just think PlanetSide 2 needs to learn how to do some pro analytics is what they need to do.
Yeah, true, yes.
And if they did proper, professional, good, solid analytics, they could see that this smaller outfit did much more valuable stuff in the capture of this base than that giant outfit just sat around.
Right.
Anyways,
let's see,
guys, I want you to, everybody out there, keep an eye out for us. We want to keep doing this periodically, and the best way for us to do it is to have an audience that listens to us. So, tell your friends, keep coming back, turn on your notifications, and hopefully we'll see you and a bunch more people on the next one.
Yeah, and Hogan, just to answer your question, we're looking at we're looking at building up some leadership. So the answer is yes. But anyways, yeah, I guess it's about time for us to close up shop.
Well, specifically because I'm wanting to play, actually.
Yeah, I gotta do a couple things, but I'm gonna get on and play myself. If any of you that are out there listening aren't in the outfit and you don't have one, or you're unhappy with yours, we're definitely open invite, and you can come hang out with us. Hell, you can just play with us for shits. As long as you're going to follow orders, you'll be good. But yeah, if we got nothing else, I guess we'll go ahead and sign off here. And yeah, you can also join the Discord. And,
yeah, definitely join the Discord. I don't have the link for it. I'll throw it in the chat. If you got it, FatCakes.
I got it. Stand by.
Yeah. Throw that in there. Join the Discord, guys. We're building more than just a PlanetSide 2 outfit. We're building a community here. And we'd love to see you guys come in the chill channel, hear your voice, really connect with you, what you think. It's easier to get your opinions like that, and see what you like to do. So definitely join that, be active.
Yep, I appreciate y'all listening, and you're going to get to see the intro video again.
Buzzcut Psycho can fix this game, just remember that.
Buzzcut Psycho, make PlanetSide 2 great again.
He can.
I will be creating merchandise.
Dude. He is the Donald Trump of PlanetSide 2.
There'll be a red hat with white lettering. Buy it. Support 69AR with that hat.
All right, man.
Hey, wait. Before you sign off, drag Vital down in here and let's chat with him.
Yeah, I'll get him. All right, y'all have a good one and enjoy the video here. And do you want to give a shout out to the music? I don't know the guy's name.
Yeah. Hold on one second. So the song that you're about to hear in our intro, outro was made by a guy named Oh My. It's 5 years ago, and I just loved it, and I asked him if I could use it to do videos when I was doing videos. And he was like, yeah, sure. Yeah, go ahead. So we're using it, but it's open source, and so we're not making any money, so we're open source. And so feel free to give him a like on his SoundCloud. I'll post a link. But this is a PlanetSide 2 rap song, and it is fucking amazing, I think. Enjoy.
All right.
Enjoy, guys.
Y'all have a good one.
We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender.
I'm stopping y'all quick like a traffic jam. Dropping on your base like a man Japan. And none of y'all players even stand a chance. Cause I'ma get you no matter what class I am. I'm stopping y'all quick like a traffic jam. Hot dropping on your base like a man Japan. And none of y'all players even stand a chance. Cause I'ma get you no matter what class I am. If I'm rolling in the city and I know that you ain't with me, I'ma make sure all of y'all gone like the hair that was on hippie. Even if you you kill my whole squad any time of day. I'll show you how to raise the dead with revive grenades, is what I'm trying to say. Y'all won't prosper any kind of way, so back off. Y'all can't even beat me at a game of smack talk. Watch me stay flyer than y'all, like assault I blast off and fly right past y'all. Matter of fact, that dumbs can't beat my heavy, especially when me and my crew run deep like Chevy. If y'all always watch us take over, y'all will beat the levy. We surrounding y'all like a pork when you eat spaghetti. Y'all need to practice and practice to try to push us back in. My classes and tactics will master you has-been. See, the point of the song was to point to how wrong y'all would be for biting back, cause there's no point all along.
Light assault automatic, y'all players gonna get it. Infiltrator or max, y'all better watch your backs. Heavy's era armor, I'm getting ready to harm ya. And no matter what y'all do, just know that I'm better than you.
I'm stopping y'all quick like a traffic jam. I'm dropping on your face like a mad Japan. And none of y'all players even stand a chance, cause I'ma get you no matter what class I am. I'm stopping y'all quick like a traffic jam. Hot dropping on your base like a mad Japan. And none of y'all players even stand a chance, cause I'ma get you no matter what class I am.
Never try to pass me.
Your face is where I'm drastically, tragically blasting me.
Your death will be so nasty.
I'll attack you so much that you'll be passively mad at me.
Beat you from here to there.
I'll take you down anytime, any place, anywhere.
Whether it's land or air, your skills do not compare. Light assault automatic.
If you ain't quick on the trigger, then you know you're gonna get it.
Infiltrator or max.
With stealth or mass attacks, y'all just better watch your backs.
Heavy's era armor.
Watch us find a vehicle to face you and harm you.
No matter what y'all do, just know I'm better than you.
I'm stopping y'all quick like a traffic jam. Hot dropping on your base like a mad Japan. And none of y'all players even stand a chance, cause I'ma get you no matter what class I am. I'm stopping y'all quick like a traffic jam. Hot dropping on your base like a mad Japan. And none of y'all players even stand a chance, cause I'ma get you no matter what class I am. I'm stopping y'all quick like a traffic jam. Hot dropping on your base like a mad Japan. And none of y'all players even stand a chance, cause I'ma get you no matter what class I am. I'm stopping y'all quick like a traffic jam. Hot dropping on your base like a mad Japan. And none of y'all